I just learned that a few minutes ago on the acoustic guitar. Of course, this video is about my King of the Hill house. I'm still playing around with the residential area layout now that I added this extra space here. At the moment, Evergreen Terrace and Rainy Street are to be one in the same. Right next door to The Simpsons are the hills. Let's take a tour of the Hill house. I designed the roof to easily pop off the top, and it splits into two pieces for easy access into the attic areas if I had anything built into the attic areas. Right now, I do not. I built this years ago when rumors of a King of the Hill revival first broke, and those rumors turned out to be true, and this revival is finally coming out this summer. Just like the Simpsons house, the King of the Hill house is also built on a 48x48 stud baseplate. Although the scale for this one feels more in line with the rest of the city, as it's a single-story structure. I designed this from the ground up using Bricklink Studio, using various layouts of the Hill house that I found on the internet. Unfortunately, like a lot of my early designs, I no longer have that file as the hard drive it was on crashed. I found that also like the Simpsons house, the Hill house layout is surprisingly consistent from episode to episode, other than the placement of a few windows. For example, sometimes the den has a window leading to the outside, and sometimes it does not, which is why this build has the window leading into the garage. Starting with the front of the house, we see John Redcorn drive up in his Jeep, waiting for Nancy to come out for her healing massages. I have a couple of these car seat molds from the old Johnny Thunder days in the 90s. I really like how effectively these single mold car pieces are able to pack two minifigures into it, but their unique shape doesn't really align with full studs and it limits their usage, so in order to build a car upon this, the build has to either be done only from the front and only from the back, nothing to the sides. So an open top Jeep perfectly allows for just that. I used whatever pieces I had for the Jeep, so I'll definitely be switching out some colors later on to improve the look. On the lawn right here, you'll spot one of Peggy Hill's Probots from Season 8, Episode 9. For the front of the house, I wanted to make sure I had these red shutters, as it's one of the main features of the house. This shutter piece went out of production over 15 years ago, so this was a special Bricklink order, as well as this piece here that I used for the bed of Hank's truck. Through the front door, we have the entryway. There's the mailbox right there. And on the other side of the door, right on this wall, is Hank's 9-iron from the Texas City Twister episode, Season 2, Episode 2. It's definitely stronger than an umbrella. To the left is the formal dining room with this half wall. See how it just pops right off on the side using sideways studs. And through the dining room is the kitchen, with the sink along the front wall looking into Rainy Street. The counter continues to show the rest of the appliances in the kitchen with a fresh apple brown Peggy sitting right on the counter. Towards the back of the kitchen is the informal dining table where the Hills usually eat, and on the wall behind it is the Texas clock that's in every episode, always changing in style. In later seasons, it's not even a clock. This clock was also my first attempt at making custom stickers. I made a grid in Photoshop to match the Lego stud size and used screenshots from the show to get the sticker print. Then printed it out on sticker paper. It took more than a few tries to get the print right. On the back wall here is one of two sliding doors to the back patio. Looking at the opposite wall of the kitchen, we have this cabinet in between the open doorways. Both doorways have green trim around them, just as in the show. When designing this interior, I wanted to make sure to get that brown stripe paneling effect on the build, as this is what I remember most from the look of the walls in the house. At the time, I thought I was inventing this sideway wall technique, but years of Lego building knowledge later, I've seen it used in plenty of official sets. Anyways, this next room is the living room with the other sliding glass door over here. As you see, both sliding glass doors are held in place at the bottom with this little cheese wedge piece, and at the top with the two wide rail. Right here we have the couch and the green chair that Hank usually sits in. Lying on the floor here is Ladybird. She's exhausted from a long day of doggy dancing. And on this TV in the corner, we see it is playing Peggy's favorite telenovela, Monsignor Martinez. Behind the couch, in the back of the living room, is Hank's den, where Luann lived in the early seasons of the show. There's still a fold-out couch in here. And some of the beauty school supplies Luann left behind. That right there is the hair model head Bobby was practicing kissing on in Plastic White Female, Season 1, Episode 12. Next, we go down the hallway to the bedrooms. First up is Bobby's room. There's his joke book, his purse from his women's self-defense class in Bobby Goes Nuts. There's also the Ray J. Johnson comedy vinyl album from Just Another Manic Conde, which was the last aired episode, even though it's not technically the last episode chronologically. And on the wall here, we have a poster of the boy band Fourscore from the Get Your Freak Off episode in Season 7, Episode 1. Next down the hall is Hank and Peggy's room. This is where Hank and Peggy enjoy the fundamentals, the same old, same old. It's pretty basic, just a dresser, a TV over the bed, and along here we have a pile of Peggy's large shoes and her trophies for Substitute Teacher of the Year, 1996 and 97. In the back of the room is Hank and Peggy's private bathroom. This is the toilet where Hank has his unmentionable problem in Season 1, Episode 6. If I had more room on the base plate here, this is where the privacy hedge would go. Every neighbor on Rainy Street has a privacy hedge in front of their bathroom window. And right next to it is the guest bathroom. Both have the same layout, but you get to the guest bathroom from the next door down in the hallway. The last room in the house to the right here is the closet with the water heater Hank reluctantly has installed by Bernie Mac in Racist Dog, Season 7, Episode 20. The closet also doubles as Peggy's home office. On her new computer, we see she's been playing Propane from Grand Theft Arlen, Season 11, Episode 8. Through the door in the back of the hallway, we go into Hank's garage. Inside it on the top here, we see Hank's canoe, fishing gear, and a jar of his special fish bait from Jumpin' Crack Bass, Season 2, Episode 5. And right along the wall here is that window I was talking about, and over here, the washer and dryer that they bought for Bobby, or so he thinks, for his birthday, and Hank's Dirty Laundry, Season 2, Episode 17. And next to that is Hank's tool chest with the shoe rack that he's been making for Peggy, as she's been hinting she wanted something for the bedroom. And we already saw that pile of shoes there, so this is obviously what she meant, a place for her very large shoes. I used the rail system for these two garage doors. I would have liked to have them in white, but I could only find the bottom piece in white, and everything else was a transparent color, so this is the best I'm going to get for now. Hopefully they re-release it in white. Now let's put the garage roof back on. This section isn't really designed to pop off like the other roof, but it comes off and on pretty easily. Riding his bike and wreaking havoc through the alleyway, we have Joseph Gribble. This old black hairpiece that I used here really fits Joseph's hairstyle well. I'm not too sold on what I'm using for his torso right now, so I'll probably switch that out later for something simpler. Also in the garage, right over here, we have Hank's truck. The same kind of truck he's been buying year after year for the sticker price and not a dime more. His special deal of 25 years from his car guy, Tom Hammond, revealed in Season 12, Episode 13, The Accidental Terrorist. I always find it difficult designing minifigure scaled automobiles, and they usually don't turn out very well, but I'm really proud of the design that I came up with for this truck. I think everything looks great, and I love how I make the back of the truck open and close with this piece. In the backyard, we have Hank's patio with his umbrella table that's featured in almost every single episode, a little gutter right here, and here is his beloved mower. The same one Hank, who suffers from diminished gluteal syndrome, uses for mower racing, aided by his prosthetic bum in Hank's backstory, Season 5, Episode 13. As Hank said, why would anybody do drugs when they can just mow a lawn? I based this mower design off of the one that I found on Brick Design's YouTube page. In the corner here, we have the booth that Luann does her Manger Babies puppet show, which airs on local television. Hank made this booth for Luann in the Meet the Manger Babies episode, Season 2, Episode 12. And there's Peggy giving Luann notes on her Manger Babies rehearsal. And here we have Cotton Hill using the smallest legs possible because, of course, his shins blew off in World War II. Then there's his wife Dee Dee and their son, G.H., Good Hank. And right below Cotton is this arrowhead, the same one that Peggy finds in Season 2, Episode 3. And, of course, hanging out drinking beer in the alley is Boomhower, Bill, Dale, and Hank. I couldn't find an orange hat for Dale, so I went with this tan old-style hat that I had. It was the closest I could get. And this hairpiece for Boomhower is also the closest I could find there. Matching their clothes is pretty easy since they don't wear anything too complicated. For Bill, I kind of wanted to use the headpiece that George has in the Seinfeld set, but the skin tone of that was tan, and I couldn't find body parts that had a similar face shape. So this printed bald yellow head is what I have going for Bill at the moment. And this head for Hank here is one of the heads that's available in Bricklink Studio to pick for your characters when you create them digitally, and I immediately thought it looked just like Hank Hill, so I also got this from Bricklink. Unfortunately, the one I got was pretty damaged, but oh well. Just outside the garage, we have Bobby wearing those pants I was talking about that I took from Bert from the Sesame Street set. The colors match what Bobby wears in almost every single episode, just right here. Oh, looks like Bobby's coming over to show off his newly learned defense skills. That's my purse! I don't know you!